Hi, we're Ryan and Kirsty, and for the past 12 months we've been travelling and living full-time in our van across the UK and Europe. We've travelled to 21 countries and we've travelled over 20,000 miles. So in this video we're going to tell you all about how much 12 months of van life cost us. So in this video, we'll take a closer look at the costs associated with living the van life dream for 1 year.
So before we started van life, we were a bit intimidated by the costs, but after doing it for this whole year, looking back at how much it actually has cost us, it's definitely doable. And hopefully after seeing this video, our breakdown of our costs, you'll realise it is definitely doable for you as well.
So first of all, we'll give you the overall cost of what we spent over the 12 months, but then we'll also give you a more detailed breakdown of different categories so that you can see what we spent on each different category as well.
Yeah, so at the bottom, we'll put each category into chapters, so you can just skip through each one and just see the totals. But yeah, so we'll give you the whole grand total of what we spent.
So the grand total of what we spent over the year was £27,748.
So that total doesn't include the cost of the van itself, and it doesn't include any upgrades that we've paid for on the van itself. So we got new tyres, solar panels, new batteries, inverters, stuff like that. So we made quite a few upgrades. So we haven't included them on this. They are on other videos that we've got and other breakdowns. So you can go back and have a look at them, and we'll put them in the cards somewhere. But this is a total of just what we spent just living on the road.
So this was our first 12 months of van life and also our first 12 months of full-time travel. So we sort of had in mind that we wanted to do everything. We wanted to do all the activities we wanted to do. We wanted to travel really far, and we did. Going forward, maybe in years to come, we think that that budget would probably be less than what it is now, because we'd probably a bit more strict with our budget and wouldn't spend so freely.
Yeah, so we just drove everywhere. We wanted to cram as much in, so we was travelling a lot, doing a lot of miles, which is obviously just meant more on food, more on fuel. So them costs add up. So I think when we go again in hopefully the next couple of weeks, we will be doing it a lot slower. We'll be staying in places for a lot longer. So that should bring our costs down a lot.
So we use our Monzo banking app, which we use when we travel. It's one of the best travel banking apps out there, but just like one of the best banking apps in general, we think. We've been using it for years now. So we were able to put in dates of when we wanted to get a statement out and also break that down really easily. Yeah,
so Monzo puts every transaction into a category. And we've just broken them categories down into a spreadsheet, and so that's just what we're going to give you now. So the categories aren't exact.
No, some of it's not absolutely perfect. It's just it's a year's worth of spending. So it would take us a really, really long time to go through every single transaction and put it in. But
the grand total is fine.
Yeah, the grand total is exactly right, but the categorization is maybe not like absolutely spot on, but it is like rough, gives you a rough idea.
Yeah.
So we'll give you our first category. Our first category is bills. So this is like the set monthly costs that we have coming out every month. So it's things like our van finance, which we have, our Wi-Fi bill, our phone bills. So the grand total for the bills for the first 12 months was £5,700.
So the next one is eating out. We really didn't eat out that much throughout the whole trip. Most of the trip was spent, so the first part of the trip was spent just getting used to it. Then we went to Norway and Scandinavia, where it's really expensive. So we ended up spending around £1,400 on eating out. And that was mostly just coffee shops.
Yeah, just cafes here and there.
Yeah.
We just prefer to cook it in the van. It's one of the main ways that we manage to save money while we're traveling. So yeah, we don't eat out all that much, so that one's not too bad over the year. So the next category is groceries, so food shopping. So we spent £4,780 over the year on food shopping. It's roughly to about £400 a month So
That's fine.
it's about
£100
right.
a week, yeah.
Obviously with the price of food, shopping and stuff going up so much recently, it is more expensive anyway. And like we said, we do tend to do a food shop every week and cook as much as we can in the van. So yeah, that's always one of our biggest outgoings.
And we was in Scandinavia and places like that, which are expensive countries. So obviously the main thing that is your biggest cost with anything to do with van is transport. So that was our biggest outgoing. So that was £7,600 we spent over the last 12 months travelling in our van. That does include, I'd probably say it's 90% fuel. There is a couple of ferries in there, a couple of public transport, buses and trams, but 90% of that was fuel. Fuel was expensive everywhere we go, and like we say, we've done over 20,000 miles in the last 12 months. So yeah, so we covered a lot of ground.
What is that on average a month?
Yeah, so that works out to about £640 a month, £640 a month, something like that. So yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. I think that's definitely within most people's budget, and we kept within our budget over the last 12 months. So yeah, £7,600 we spent on transport.
So the next category, it's quite a small one, it's just getting cash out from cash machines. So this one was £1,640. So our next category is what our Monzo banking app has categorised as holidays. So it's basically all the campsites that we paid for and all the activities that we did. And this one comes to £3,688.
Yeah, so most of that was campsites, but there's stuff like we went to the Lego house in Denmark, and we stayed at Centre Parks for a couple of nights for Kirsty's birthday in France. So that was a big outlay. Museums we went to. I went scuba diving in Pompeii and in the Arctic in Norway. So that's
kayaking in the Lofoten Islands, just all the amazing activities that we did across all the countries that we went to. And our final category is what our Monzo banking app has categorised as general. So this is basically a load of really random things. So things like just popping into shops that were not supermarkets, things like paying for when we went to the gym one time, just really random bits and bobs that we can't really categorise in any specific category. So this is just like general bits and bobs. And this was £3,438. So like we said, we could really go into every single transaction and make it really, really precise, but over a year, it's just a lot. It would take us a really, really long time. So this is just to give you kind of like a general idea of how much all these different things cost over a year.
So that works out to £27,739 for the whole 12 months of living in our van, which then breaks down to £2,311 per month, which before we'd all set out and done this whole trip, we set ourselves a budget of £2,500 per month. So we've pretty much kept inside that budget, which we're really happy with. Some months were a lot less, some months were a lot more, but just on average,
it balanced itself out. Obviously,
really
the months we spent in Scandinavia were a lot more expensive, but when we went to places like Romania and Croatia, where we didn't do as much and it just generally wasn't as expensive anyway, like those kind of months balanced each other out.
Yeah.
It's been really interesting to have a look at this breakdown and have a look at how much we actually spent and figure out that, yeah, we were in our budget, which is really good, we're really happy about, but also just to see, like, generally how much these kind of things cost. Across Europe and the UK as well. Yeah,
so if this is one of the first videos you're watching, we've done 3 months in Europe, 3 months out of Europe, and then 6 months back in Europe. We were a little bit just back in the UK.
But when we were in the UK, we travelled Wales and Scotland as well.
So we were constantly travelling. So if you haven't seen any of them videos, go all the way back through. So there's 12 months worth of videos for you to catch up on.
Hopefully that has helped to give you sort of like a general idea of how much a year of van life costs. Obviously everyone is different, everyone's budget is different, so you can't say that this is going to be the exact budget for everyone. We could have made it a lot cheaper, but we also could have made it a lot more expensive. We just knew what our budget was for the year. We knew we wanted to do as much as we possibly could because it was our first year and we wanted to experience everything. So yeah, we certainly could have made it cheaper. I think you could do van life a lot cheaper.
But we also like to do it our way. We like doing kayaking, diving. We want to have these experiences. We want to drive new places. So you also don't want to restrict yourself too much either. You want to buy nice food and stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah, everyone's different.
Yeah, van life is different for everyone, so it just depends what you want from it. In a couple of weeks, we're going to be getting back on the road and heading back to Europe again, which we're really, really excited about. But we think that we'll be travelling a little bit differently this time. So we're going to slow things down a lot, not travel so far, not travel so fast, just chill out a little bit more and focus on finding nice park-ups. That's going to be our focus on this one. So just finding like nice places by the beach or nice remote locations where we can just stop and spend a little bit more time just chilling out. So I think going forward, hopefully our budget will be a little bit less expensive.
Yeah, and we will try and keep you updated on our budgets, but also all our links to social media will be in the bottom. So just drop us a message if you've got any questions. We do get a lot of messages of people just asking questions, so we're always happy to help, whether it's about solar or Wi-Fi or getting a pet passport or something like that. So yeah, anything you need, just give us a message, because we've learned so much on this last year. Yeah,
and we also update our social media a lot more regularly than we make these YouTube videos. So if you want more regular, like daily updates, then yeah, our social media, we post a lot more regular updates over there.
So you can find that at Free as a Bird. So Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, it's all the same. It's just at Free as a Bird. And we've also got our website, which is freeasabird.com. Where everything will be in a written format. We'll try and get this into a blog post so you can go back and have a look at it. And our 1 month budget's in there of how much you spent on a 1 month, how much you spent on 3 months in Europe is on there, and that's also a YouTube video. So there's a few different videos and blog posts you can have a look at all about how much stuff costs. So we also have a blog post and a YouTube video about how we earn money on the road. So if it's something you are thinking about doing, you're not quite sure how to earn a living on the road, then go check that out or drop us a message as well. We're more than happy to speak to you about that.
Yeah, hopefully you found this video useful. Like we say, in a few weeks time, hoping to get back on the road to Europe again, so we should be able to keep bringing you our regular travel updates. But yeah, hopefully you found this video informative and it has helped you in some way.
Yes, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.